Welcome to Day 5 of the Food Importers Blueprint, Nigeria Hub. Over the past 4 days, we have covered the NAFDAC mandate, the portal, the cost of non-compliance, and the registration timeline. You now understand the system at a structural level. Today, we address the question that should come before all of those. The question that David never asked. Before you invest in the registration process, before you hire a Nigerian agent, before you gather a single document, before you open NAPAMs, you need to answer 4 specific questions about your product. Is it eligible for import into Nigeria? Is it prohibited or restricted in any way? Is every ingredient in your formulation permitted at the level you're using? Have you correctly identified your product's NAFDAC category? These questions take a few hours to answer properly. Skipping them, as David discovered, can cost you months and thousands of dollars you will never recover. Let us answer them together, right now. Is your product even eligible to be registered by NAFDAC? Here is what to check before spending a kobo on NAFDAC registration. 3 months. David spent 3 months on his registration, gathering manufacturer documents in the United States, organizing certificates, coordinating with his Lagos agent, shipping samples, paying fees, 3 months of work, $15,000 invested, and then NAFDAC rejected his application. Not because his documentation was wrong, not because his factory failed inspection, not because he filled in a form incorrectly. NAFDAC rejected his application because one ingredient in his product, one stimulant compound in his energy drink formulation, exceeded the permitted level for beverages in Nigeria, one ingredient. And here is the part that should stop you cold. David had never checked. He assumed that because the FDA had approved his product in the United States, NAFDAC would approve it in Nigeria. That assumption cost him $15,000, 3 months of his life, and a market opportunity he never recovered. My name is Dadi Nantimula. I am a director at NAFDAC. I have watched this happen, not once, not twice, but more times than I can comfortably count. And today, before you spend a single dollar, a single kobo, or a single hour on the Nigerian registration process, I am going to walk you through exactly what you need to check first. Now, I want to come back to David because his story is not about a prohibited product. His energy drink was not on the prohibition list. The product category was not banned. David's problem was a single ingredient, a stimulant compound that was perfectly legal in the United States, approved by the FDA at the concentration he was using, but that exceeded the permitted level for beverages under Nigerian food safety regulations. One ingredient, one concentration, $15,000. This is the ingredients investigation, and it is the step that most importers skip because they assume regulatory approval in one country transfers to another. It does not. NAFDAC maintains comprehensive lists that you must check your complete product formulation against. Permitted food additives and their maximum allowed concentrations. Permitted food colors. Permitted preservatives. Permitted sweeteners. Restricted ingredients with specific conditions. The key word in all of those categories is permitted at specific levels. An ingredient can be on the permitted list and still fail NAFDAC compliance if your formulation uses it above the allowed concentration. This means you need more than your product's ingredient list. You need the full technical formulation. The quantities, the percentages, the concentrations of every additive, coloring, preservative, and functional ingredient. And you need to check each one against NAFDAC's current regulations for your specific product category. I cannot stress this strongly enough. Before you gather a single document, before you hire an agent, before you open NAPAMs, get your formulation reviewed against NAFDAC's permitted additives list. This review takes hours, not months, but it will tell you immediately whether your product can be registered as formulated or whether you need to go back to your manufacturer and ask for a reformulation before you begin. A reformulation conversation with your supplier before registration begins costs you a phone call. Discovering the problem after 3 months and $15,000 costs you everything David lost. The check is at nafdac.gov.ng. Do it now before anything else. Let us now start with what needs NAFDAC registration and what does not. Let us begin with the foundation. What products require NAFDAC registration? The answer is simpler than most people think. If you have done anything to food beyond harvesting it, if you have packaged it, cooked it, processed it, bottled it, dried it, canned it, frozen it, added anything to it, it needs NAFDAC registration before it can enter Nigeria for sale. This means any food in sealed packaging, any beverage, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, any food that has been heat-treated, preserved or modified in any way, any snack, confectionery or ready-to-eat product, any dietary supplement or functional food, any infant food or baby product. The list of what does not require registration is very short and very specific. Fresh fruits and vegetables in their natural, unpackaged state. Fresh meat and fish that have not been processed or packaged. Raw agricultural commodities in their unprocessed form. The moment you put fresh tomatoes in a sealed package, even without any other processing, you are in NAFDAC territory. For the vast majority of international food importers, your product almost certainly requires registration. The good news is that Nigeria actively welcomes most imported food categories: processed foods, beverages, snacks, specialty products, health supplements. The market is open, but open does not mean unrestricted, and this is where we need to slow down. Nigeria maintains a list of prohibited and restricted food products. This list evolves. Government policy changes, new health information emerges, economic protection measures are introduced and sometimes relaxed. You must always verify current status directly from the Nigeria Customs Service website and NAFDAC. But let me give you the major categories you need to be aware of right now. Completely prohibited. Certain products are absolutely banned from import. These include foods containing specific additives or ingredients that Nigeria has determined to be unsafe or undesirable. The specific list is maintained by NAFDAC on their website, nafdac.gov.ng, and must be checked against your exact product formulation. Pause. Beverage restrictions for specific categories. This is where David should have started. Nigeria has specific import restrictions on beverage categories, and they are not obvious. First, waters and non-alcoholic beverages. Mineral waters, aerated waters, and other non-alcoholic beverages containing added sugar, sweetening matter, or flavorings are prohibited from importation. Pause for effect. Read that again slowly. Non-alcoholic beverages with added sugar or flavorings prohibited. Now, there is an important exemption. Energy drinks and health drinks that qualify as liquid dietary supplements, products like Power Horse and Red Ginseng, are specifically exempted from this ban. But the classification matters enormously. Your product must legitimately qualify as a liquid dietary supplement. You cannot simply label a flavored beverage as a health drink and expect it to clear. Second, beer and stout. Whether bottled, canned, or otherwise packaged, beer and stout are on the import prohibition list. The energy and health drink exemption applies here too, but the standard prohibition stands for conventional beer. Third, hollow glass bottles. Glass bottles with a capacity exceeding 150 milliliters used for beverage packaging are prohibited from importation. This was introduced to force beverage manufacturers to source packaging locally. Fourth, milk and dairy products. In 2020, the Central Bank of Nigeria restricted dairy imports to a small group of specific companies promoting local manufacturing. This is not a blanket ban, but unless you are one of those designated companies, importing milk and conventional dairy products through normal channels is effectively closed. Foreign exchange restrictions add a further layer. Since 2015, the Central Bank of Nigeria has restricted access to official foreign exchange for importers of several beverage categories, forcing them to source forex from the parallel market at significantly higher cost. This is not a customs or NAFDAC issue, but it affects your economics profoundly. Now, if your product falls into any of these restricted categories, this is the conversation to have before you spend anything, not after 3 months and $15,000. Now, highly regulated categories. not prohibited but significantly more complex. Even if your product is not prohibited, some categories attract exceptional scrutiny. Alcoholic beverages can be imported, but they require additional permits beyond NAFDAC registration, involving other government agencies. The process is longer and more expensive. Products making health claims face intense examination. If your food product claims to prevent, treat, or manage any medical condition, NAFDAC will treat it almost like a pharmaceutical. You will need substantial scientific evidence to support those claims. Genetically modified foods require specific declaration and may trigger additional requirements under Nigeria's biosafety regulations. And infant formula and baby foods. This is the most stringently regulated category of all. More documentation, more rigorous testing, a longer approval process. If your product is in this space, plan for it from the very beginning. Let us now take a look at NAFDAC product classification. Get this wrong and you start over. The third question to answer before you begin is classification. Which NAFDAC product category does your product belong to? This is not a bureaucratic formality. Your product's category determines which specific guidelines apply to it, which documents you need, which laboratory tests will be required, and how much you will pay in registration fees. NAFDAC classifies food products into 10 main categories. Let me give you the key ones. Beverages: soft drinks, juices, energy drinks, water, non-alcoholic beverages. Alcoholic beverages are handled separately. Processed foods, a broad category covering canned foods, packaged snacks, condiments, sauces, spreads, and shelf-stable products. Confectionery, candies, chocolates, chewing gum, bakery products, packaged breads, biscuits, crackers, baked goods, dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, dairy-based products, edible fats and oils, cooking oils, margarine, butter, cereals and cereal products, breakfast cereals, pasta, flour-based products, dietary supplements, and functional foods. This is where it gets complex. Products in this category straddle the line between food and medicine. NAFDAC watches them very closely. Infant foods, the most stringent category. Spices, seasonings, and condiments. Flavor enhancers, spice blends, table sauces. Now here is the critical guidance. Your product should fit clearly and honestly into one category. If you are uncertain if your product has herbal ingredients and makes health claims, do not guess. Do not classify it in a category that seems easier or cheaper if it does not accurately reflect what the product is. NAFDAC evaluators know their categories with great precision. If you have misclassified your product, they will reclassify it. At best, this means a delay, weeks lost while you resubmit. At worst, your application is rejected and you begin again. Get the classification right before submission. If you are genuinely uncertain, get informal guidance from a NAFDAC regulatory consultant before you file anything. Now let's take a look at your Nigerian representative, the one decision that shapes everything. The fourth thing to establish before you begin, and this one surprises many international importers, is that you cannot register a product with NAFDAC directly from overseas. You must have a Nigerian representative. This is not bureaucratic gatekeeping. It is a practical necessity rooted in accountability. NAFDAC needs someone physically present in Nigeria who can receive official correspondence, submit physical samples, receive inspectors if required, be available for meetings and clarifications, and be legally responsible for your product in the Nigerian market. Your Nigerian representative's name goes on your registration certificate. They are the entity NAFDAC holds legally responsible if something goes wrong with your product after it reaches the market. This is a relationship of enormous trust and enormous legal consequence. You have three options: establishing your own Nigerian company, partnering with a Nigerian distribution company, or engaging a specialist regulatory services firm. Each has its own trade-offs in terms of control, cost, and flexibility. My book covers them in detail, but whichever option you choose, the due diligence process is non-negotiable. Because the internet is full of people claiming NAFDAC expertise they do not have. Let me give you 7 things you must verify before committing to any Nigerian representative. 1. Verify their CAC registration certificate. Confirm it is legitimate. Confirm their registered address actually exists. 2. Ask for references from other international clients. Call those references. Ask specific, direct questions about their experience. 3. Ask how many food products they have registered with NAFDAC. Request examples. Then check whether those products appear in NAFDAC's public registry at registration.nafdac.gov.ng. Anyone can claim a track record. The NAFDAC portal lets you verify it. 4. Evaluate how they communicate. How quickly do they respond to your inquiries? Do they answer directly or give vague, evasive responses? The quality of communication during the vetting stage is exactly what you will experience during registration. 5. Get a detailed written fee structure. What is included? What costs extra? What happens if registration fails? 6. If at all possible, visit in person. Meet the team. See their office. You learn more from 1 hour in someone's workspace than from 50 emails. 7. Have a lawyer review any agreement before you sign. Pay close attention to intellectual property, exclusivity, termination clauses, and ownership of the registration, and the red flags. If someone promises guaranteed registration in an unrealistically short time frame, be concerned. If they are unwilling to provide references or verified examples of past registrations, walk away. If they cannot explain NAFDAC processes in specific, accurate detail, they do not have the expertise they are claiming. If they pressure you to pay large amounts upfront without clear deliverables, stop. Trust your instincts. In 30 years, I have watched importers ignore clear warning signs because they were eager to get started. Every one of those importers paid for it later. Let me bring today's episode together with the 4 questions that Chapter 2 of my book exists to answer. Question 1. Is your product eligible? Check the prohibition and restriction lists at nafdac.gov.ng and ncs.gov.gg before spending anything. Question 2. Is every ingredient permitted at the concentration you are using? Get your full formulation checked against NAFDAC's additives and permitted ingredients lists. Do not assume FDA approval or EU approval transfers automatically. Question 3. What is your correct product category? Identify it precisely. If you are uncertain, get guidance before you file. Do not guess and do not strategically misclassify. Question 4. Who is your Nigerian representative? Vet them thoroughly using the 7-point checklist. Verify their track record in the public NAFDAC portal. Do not rush this decision. 4 questions, a few hours of due diligence. That is all that stands between you and the start of a registration process built on solid ground. David skipped all 4. He lost $15,000 and 3 months. You now have the framework to avoid that entirely. Now, today's free resource is one of the most practically useful downloads I have put together for this series. It is the Product Eligibility Pre-Check Worksheet, a structured fill-in document that walks you through all 4 pre-registration checks systematically before you begin any registration activity. It covers the eligibility check for your specific product type, a structured ingredients audit table where you list every additive and check it against NAFDAC's categories, a product classification decision guide, and a Nigerian representative vetting checklist based on the 7-point framework I just walked you through. You fill it in once, thoroughly, before you do anything else. If any cell comes back red, if any ingredient fails, if your product is in a restricted category, if your representative cannot answer the vetting questions, you know before you spend money, not after. Download it free. The link is in the description below. This is the document David needed. He did not have it. You do. Next time on this channel, we dive into the documentation process with an essential episode on the 7 myths of NAFDAC registration. Many importers hold misconceptions that can cost them valuable time. Understanding the truth behind these myths is crucial as it influences every decision you make during the registration process. Make sure to subscribe now so you won't miss this important discussion. If David's story resonated with you, give this video a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you checked your formulation against NAFDAC's permitted additives list? Whether this is new information for you or something you've already explored, your input is important to us. It helps us understand where you are in your journey. I am Dadi Nantim Mula, and this is the Food Importers Blueprint, Nigeria Hub. Remember, checking your product is the most critical step you can take today. See you next time.